it's me. Hey guys, so welcome back. I haven't been here in 3 months. I think it's a long story, but also not a long story, but basically I'm back. Things just got weird in my life, and you know, it's kind of what happened. I moved actually with my partner. If you notice, I am somewhere else, and I don't know if this back situation is going to stay this way. I would like to have it set up differently, but we're going to see how it goes. I moved with my partner, like I said. He's going to be going to school, so we moved sort of away from Chicago, which is really weird for me. Maybe I'll talk about that some other time, because I wanted today's video to be about new makeup releases. I'm certainly not going to talk about everything from like this whole fucking summer. I decided to just do it on August, the releases of August, because we're in August. Let's see what has been going on. Let's start with this Kylie release because I hate it. I hate it so much. So she does this birthday collection every single year for her birthday. Kylie is 8 days older than me. I don't really understand. I also just don't really understand birthday collections because it seems like a marketing ploy that celebrities would do, because they would rely on their fans to be like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm totally gonna give them money for their birthday that they definitely need. This collection is an eyeshadow palette, lip stuff, a highlighter, and body stuff. What is this? I hate a lot of things about this because okay, the palette is boring, and the palette looks very much like the one she did with Kendall with the very creepy pictures. Those pictures are very incestuous, okay? The color story really reminds me of that. Like with the gold on the back, it actually makes it look cheap. Like I feel like if you get gold wrong, it just looks tacky and cheap, and that's what this is. Like I don't know if it is the gold or if it's just her face on the packaging. And I'm pretty sure she did this with her birthday collection last year. She did it with some collection last year where she put her face all over it, and I just don't like when people put their faces on their packaging. I don't like it. Like it just seems very it's lazy. I think that's my biggest gripe with it, is it's lazy and self-centered. It really is a little bit self-centered. And then the highlighter, I don't like the font of the 24 that is on the highlighter. Let's just get the elephant in the room addressed. This is a blatant ripoff of Trophy Wife from Fenty. I guess that's it. I have nothing to say about the fucking lip stuff over here, so yeah. Next, let's just talk about these Zodiac palettes from ColourPop. This is smart. This is very smart because when people are seeking a love interest, they ask them what time they were born. So I understand, and I like that they released them all at once. The thing that bothers me about this is that it is only the box that the palette comes in that has the packaging and like the name and the color and the zodiac sign, but the actual palette itself is just plastic with nothing on it except the word ColourPop. And the only thing that would make you think it's a zodiac collection is the little imprint in one of the shadows, but the more you use that shadow, obviously it goes away. We can't even get a feel of, oh well, the packaging is where it's at, because it's not. I'm a Leo. Can you hear those sirens? I'm a Leo. It's fine. Like, it's fine that I'm a Leo. The color story is fine. A brown, an orangey brown, a gold, and a champagne, possibly. You know, I don't even know what kind of colors I would want instead of this. They just went very predictable. It's just like, oh, of course you put a fucking orange in there. for lions. I also think that the name of the Leo palette is the lamest name out of all of them. Like big Leo energy, like okay. I don't really know how it's supposed to look, honestly. Like, let's see, my partner is a Cancer, and I would honestly expect Cancers to be red, pretty much just because it's a crab. But I noticed that the Cancer palette it's a purple palette. I don't know if Cancer equals purple. Like Pisces is blue, which I understand because it's like a fish, right? Look, I don't know much about astrology. I'm just here watching people market off of these things. So yeah, I really don't think, unless you're gonna keep the box, which then what would you do with it? Like put it on the wall? It's not really a palette with the best showcase. Like I could understand anybody getting any of their collabs because of the packaging, even if their color stories are not up to par. I understand like wanting Powerpuff Girls in your drawer, but this is kind of boring, like packaging wise. And then they're just 4 colors, and then they don't mean anything. You know what? Let's just keep talking shit about ColourPop. This isn't really talking shit because I think this is kind of cute. Their Tinkerbell collection. See, they know how to be interesting. They know how to green. Like this is cute. This is cute. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it unless I see a bunch of videos like and they really get me, but right now I'm like, that's pretty. I like this, and I actually love that it's shimmer heavy because Tinkerbell is fairy. There's 3 Super Shocks, there's a couple eyeliners, lipsticks and stuff. But I am interested to see people's looks with this palette, and I do think it's a step up. Oh shit, am I off to the side enough so I can insert the photos? I'm not. Let's talk about Naked Cyber from Urban Decay. They could have done something with this if it wasn't naked. Like, I kind of expect more neon colors when you call something cyber and not so much like beige. Like there's some shimmers in here and they look nice when swatched, but these are interesting colors for mainstream brands. But if you've been following indie brands, you've seen this time and time again. You have this time and time again. Because I love a good shimmer. I love a wet eyeball. But I feel like more swatches, more pictures of swatches keep coming out with this palette. And they just keep looking less and less interesting the more we see it. We keep seeing brands like come out with these products that are like Y2K aesthetic, Y2K inspired, and I get that, but they're not really getting it right. In my opinion, like ColourPop tried it with their 5 pans. It's like you're almost there. I would like to see a really cool Y2K inspired collection. That would be really cool, but this is just, I think it's time to put clothes on, Urban Decay. All right, Revolution Batman. This is a lot. There's 6 palettes. Like, there's a Batman palette, a Harley Quinn palette, a Catwoman palette, a Joker palette. There's another Batman palette, and then there's a face palette. What is happening? Oh god, there's more shit. There's lip stuff, brushes, sponges. Is that a mascara? Like, okay, the Batman palette, there's a yellow, there's browns, there's a black. I want blues. Okay. Blues would look really nice with this color story. There's so many different versions of Batman. You could like correlate different vibes from those different Batmans without it looking too jumbled and all over the place. But they just kind of went with what, fucking 1989 or something? I don't know what year this movie came out. Okay, please. Even the Harley Quinn palette, like I'm noticing that it's pinks. Yeah, it's like a pink blue palette, which is interesting. It's a gender reveal palette. It's interesting because Harley Quinn, that's really not what she wears. I guess maybe her hair. No, her hair is red, isn't it? With the I don't. Yet doesn't her hair have like red or blue tips? And then in the comics, her outfit is red. I don't know what Harley Quinn they're basing this off of. Is this off of the new movie? Or the... And again with Joker, I'm really surprised that this is not a green purple palette, because that would have hit, honestly. Like the Melt Beetlejuice palette almost had me, but it was repetitive. Both of those palettes that they had for Beetlejuice were repetitive to me, so I didn't buy them. And I feel like you can make a really cool color story with that. There is a purple in here, but it's more like a berry. And then these other colors, I'm not sure what they're supposed... Because I'm not a fucking encyclopedia on Batman. Like I know Batman, but I don't know the Suicide Squad. I never watched the movie because I didn't want to. So I don't really know if these colors mean anything, but I'm kind of assuming that they're not, because for someone who just has seen them in passing, I'm like, where did this come from? And then the Catwoman palette, I don't get it. What does this mean? I'm looking for these color stories to mean something. And then the bigger Batman palette, it doesn't even have blues. And I don't really get what the face palette is supposed to do here. Like, it looks like there's eyeshadows, bronzers, and blushes, but they obviously don't suit everybody. And the way that it's laid out is ugly. Like eyeshadows, bronzers, blush. I don't like that. This could have been cooler. It's just too many things. Like, why does Revolution do this? So Natasha Denona is releasing the retro palette. She's already done the mini version of that palette. This is the full, or the $65 midi version of that. This reminds me of Melt She's in Parties with more colors. It's basically a purple palette, which she's done before the Lila palette, but this is different tones. I don't consider this duping the Lila palette, really. It's cute. I don't like purple enough. It's one of my least favorite eyeshadow colors, honestly. I just don't reach for it. But it's cute. Dior is coming out with their fall collection, and this is really pretty. The green and blue palette is the one that's really calling to me the most. It's a really unique color story, especially from a luxury brand. You find that luxury brands, they're very beige, washed out palettes, but I find that Dior's color stories are really not that bad. They're kind of interesting. They're $65 each. I've heard mixed reviews on the actual formula itself. Some people have said it's not that good, and I don't expect for luxury brands, at least their shimmers, to be the kinds of shimmers that I like. They're probably more subtle, which could be good for someone that likes subtle. Their blushes are cute though. Rouge Blush, Coral Flight, which is a vibrant coral, and Nude Glide, which is a rosy taupe. Those are both cute. I really like the Coral Flight one, but I probably have colors like it. But I do, again, like to see like more mainstream luxury brands reach out in this direction of vibrant, really, and like color. I forgot what the word color is. I like to see them do more color. You know what? I like that nail polish. I didn't expect for this to be such a positive thing of Dior. I'm not gonna buy it because they're not cruelty free, but damn, this this is nice. This is nice. All right, let's talk about Morphe and Coke. It sounded like I said morphine and Coke. Did they do that on purpose? They did a Coke collection again, but this time it's cherry Coke. I don't like Coke. Coca-Cola. I'm not really a big fan of Coke either. But cherry Coke and Morphe collection, there's an eyeshadow palette, a lip glaze, and like a singular, what is that? Oh, that's a blush? I thought that was an eyeshadow. What is this? And then a sponge set. Okay. I wish that the palette had more deep, vibrant reds, because I feel like the can of Coca-Cola is a little bit more red than the reds that are in here. Even if they did like a really sparkly silver to go for the... How do you open a can of pop? Oh my god, what is it called? That, to represent the silver, and that you could do a really cool sparkly silver. Even like some grays would have been cool with this. Man, a gray and red color story. Again, Melt Beetlejuice almost had me. But let's talk about the fact that this tin packaging is very, very Too Faced. Like, they're copying off of Too Faced here. And they recently also copied off of Kaja with their bento box packaging. So I feel like Morphe, do they know what they're doing? Have they ever really had an aesthetic that wasn't 35 eyeshadows? Have you ever really looked at a Morphe product and said that's Morphe? Not counting the eyeshadows don't count. Like, have they ever had a niche? Right, speaking of Morphe, I was confused by this at first because I thought Trendmood was making her own palette with Morphe. She's not. She's doing the box with Morphe. She does this with brands. She did it with Nabla. She did it with Black-owned brands. And I guess now she's doing it with Morphe. She chose the 35O Supernatural Glow. Is this not the original 35O? I'm like actually confused. No, I think it's a different, they all look the fucking same, so I don't know. A mini version of the gloss, the P. Louise base. I thought we were over the P. Louise base. I honestly don't really remember using it. Like, I bought it so long ago that it was shipped from the UK. It wasn't from Morphe yet. I guess it was a fine base, but I don't like P. Louise because she's dating a black man, so she thinks she can say the N-word as a white woman. So, and that just makes my brain grow mold because there's plenty of people that think like that. Suva Beauty Hydra Liner in Space Panda, which is a white. Oh, it's also the debut of their Make It Big eyeliner. Okay, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. I Heart Revolution is collaborating with Pebbles cereals. Cocoa Pebbles and Fruity Pebbles. Are we running out of ideas for collaborations? Like, cereal. I love cereal. I eat it all the time, but this is quite... Is that a moisturizer? It's a body butter. They have fucking... It probably smells like the cereal. I guess that makes sense. Oh, the headband is cute. Okay, listen, the headband is cute. Okay, because it looks like the one that Pebbles wore in the Flintstones. I'll give them that. This is just funny. I think that the packaging that they did on the back is very loud and distracting. I feel like Cocoa Pebbles is a little more toned down because it's all just one color. And then Fruity Pebbles, it's a rainbow palette on top of rainbow packaging, so it really clashes together. I guess the color stories themselves of the palettes are fine. Like, it's whatever, but it's also nothing that you don't already have. There's bath crystals. I'm gonna take a nice relaxing bath with my Fruity Pebbles bath crystals. Doesn't that sound bizarre? So Be Perfect and Stacy Marie are doing around 510 of their carnival palettes. I want to like this. It's just too big. It is way too big. Like the last palette that they came out with, the last carnival palette, that was pretty too, but it was too big. I really love the greens in here. I really love the tones of the greens. I love the neutrals, but I also feel like the middle of the palette is just something I know I wouldn't use. Like, maybe if it was the neutrals and the greens, I'd be all over this shit. Yeah, it's 45 shades. That's just way too big. Like, even palettes with 20 shades kind of make me shake in my boots. I've heard that the formula of these shadows are good though. Like these eyeshadow palettes, I've heard that the formula is actually quite nice. If you're interested, if this size doesn't make you run and hide, this exists. Too Faced is with a palette. This is their holiday palette because we're reaching September now, which means it's Christmas. But it's not Christmas, it's Halloween. Okay, it's Halloween now. So this is their palette for holiday 2020. It's called the Cinnamon Swirl. Haven't they done this? Like, really, haven't they done this before? And Too Faced is notorious for having really shitty holiday launches. At the very least, the quality of their holiday products are not good. But this is similar to their other palette formats, like the Sweet Peach and the Chocolate, that have gone over well. So maybe this one isn't total garbage. This is a very We Get It, You Vape color story. Like, you've done this. Haven't you? This is what I mean. MAC knows how to make pretty makeup. They do. But sometimes they just choose not to. This is the MAC Tempting Fate collection. And do you understand? This is a work of fucking art. This belongs in a museum. Like, are you serious? I really like the idea of the eyeshadow palette, and I even like that they look like they're 8 shimmers. I haven't used MAC eyeshadows in so long that I don't even remember if their shimmers were good. I don't even remember if I ever used their shimmers. I just remember their mattes. This palette is a really nice thing to hang on the wall. Okay, if this were to be something like Jungle Lights from Flower Beauty, that palette has 6 or 8 shades. I really can't remember, but it's one of those two. And if this were something like that, this would be such a good release. I mean, it is a really good release because it's so beautiful. But yeah, MAC, this is what I mean. You know how to do things, but sometimes you just don't do them. Oh, wow. So Alien Cosmetics, they're coming out with this palette called Hauntingly Glamorous, and it's in collaboration with somebody named Sydney Nicole Adams. I'm confused though. This is a really cute color story, and I love the outer packaging, and I love the little imprints of there being like tombstones or ghosts. The picture on Alien Cosmetics website is different from the one on, or not their website, their Instagram, is different from the one on the Indie Mood. Like, I think the one on the Indie Mood is a little bit brighter and a little more washed out, where Alien Cosmetics makes it look like these are very deep shadows. So I don't know, but it's cute. I wanted to show this video from Tracys Powder Room, who is a small indie brand, and they're honestly criminally underrated. I have 3, well, I technically have 4 other shadows, but I use one of them as a blush. But I have 3 other shadows, and they are absolutely to die for. I will say that they have different formulas, so you can find eyeshadows with like different finishes and things. This is their Dark Starry Night collection, and this is just a video here of the 3 shimmers swatched out, and you see the ships and things. Their whole Dark Starry Night collection launches on Friday. Yeah, I don't know if these are all that's launching or if there's more, I don't know. But yes, it's a pre-order, FYI, so it'll take a little bit of time to get it. I'm just gonna talk about one more thing. This is from M Cosmetics. This is called Dewy Eyeshadows, which just sounds divine. They come in similar packaging as the Urban Decay Moondust shadows, and these are $26 each. So I do think that is very, very steep, especially when multi-chromes from Indie Shadows, they are less than 26. They're definitely a lot. They're around like $16 or $18, but not 26. Like, these just seem to be just one color, like not duochromatic or multichromatic. They're just one color with this finish. I have them swatched out. They seem to kind of look a little bit different from each other. The top 3, Moonrise, Wish, and Luna, they look a little bit more wet than the other one. But I do think that this is a lot of money for something like this, where again, it's just one color. It's sparkly and it's nice, but it's just one. Like the shadow on my eyes today, my makeup kind of went wrong today, and so I was just putting things on top of each other to get it how I liked. But the shadow that I put on to fix what was going on was JD Glow Unexpected. Here is my lovely JD Glow and Fiona palette, and this right here is Unexpected. This might be one of my favorite things that I own. It's $7.50. $7.50. Okay. Like, their shadows are at such a great price and they look so beautiful. They're not all created equal, I will say that. I do have my least favorites that I own, but this is creme de la creme. This is good shit right here. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end it there. But yeah, it feels good to be back, as they say when they come back. And thank you so much for watching. You've been a lovely audience, and I'll talk to you later.